Hi guys, welcome to another episode of I.N.T.R.O.S.P.E.C.T with me, Sharon Mwangi. If you're new here, karibu sana, feel at home. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. Na kama kawaida, we're going to start with the first two questions of the day. That is, how am I doing? And what am I grateful for? Number one, I'm doing okay, I think. Yeah, this week has been another very interesting week. Some days have been low, others have been high. Some days have been energetic, others have been very low. But I mean, it's in life. Some days are high, some days are low, and it's okay. But in life, what am I grateful for? I'm grateful for an opportunity that I got to go to a high school all the way in Loitoktok to go and, talk to the boys. It was a boys' high school. To talk to the boys about peer influence, and let me tell you, I had such a good time. I was kind of nervous going to talk to high school boys because I'm such a young girl. And I know how, because I was once in high school, and I know how we used to make a big deal when, young men used to come to school. So I didn't want that to be the same scenario or the same case for me. But I had such a good time. They were such wonderful and lovely young men to talk to and even have and spend time with them. And then on top of that, tulienda tukakula nyama choma. Oh my god, that food was so nice. It was so good. It was so good. We had a good time with the team that I went with. We went and had some nice food, nyama choma, as tulikuwa tuna watch ile game ya Manchester United versus Manchester City. And unfortunately, the Red Devils had to win. That was the only low light. Honestly. I do not understand why they even won. Anyway, with that said, I think we can get into today's discussion and today's topic. Today we're going to look at self-love. Yeah, today we're going to look at something that I think our generation is very vocal about. And I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing that we are vocal about self-love. And I hope the way we define self-love is accurate. Because as I've been watching or listening or going through some conversations and some topics and some, videos, even on social media that people are talking about self-love, I think they show a half the side of what self-love is. That is going on solo dates and doing all these good things for yourself, like pampering yourself and all of that. And I think that's one half of self-love. But I think self-love goes even beyond just treating yourself and loving on yourself and taking yourself out on dates and buying yourself the gifts and all of that. I think there's also another part of self-love that is very, very important. And we're going to look at that. We're going to look at the whole concept of self-love and look at it from a holistic point of view. Yeah, so allow me to read something for you guys. This is a page that I stumbled upon. Kizungu. Anyway, so this is a page that I came across when I was scrolling on TikTok. And I think when I saw this, I was like, wow, this hits deep. So this person had posted about a particular book that I think they were reading. It's called The Art of Being Alone. And I really want to read that book because it looks like it's such a deep book and something that has a lot of gems. And there's a part that they highlighted that talked about self-love. And I want to read what was written. It says, self-love is about knowing everything about yourself. However ugly or dark or bad your truth is, and accepting yourself with it. Self-love is about knowing how to transform your flaws into your strengths rather than hiding them inside so that no one can see them. Wow. The concept of self-love coming from a point of self-awareness, like knowing yourself inside and out, like knowing your weaknesses, knowing your strengths, and still being in a position and say that I love myself, regardless of my weaknesses, regardless of the points where I feel like I struggle, that you still love yourself. And I think that's a very difficult thing to do if we're being honest. Because think of it, it's already difficult to love other people's flaws. Now, can you imagine loving your own flaws, loving yourself despite of your own flaws? I think that is something that is very difficult to do. It is easy to love yourself when you think of yourself as the strengths that you embody. It's easy to say that you love the fact that you're confident, you love the fact that you're beautiful, you like the fact that you're a go-getter, you love the fact that you're driven, you love the fact that you're a good communicator, you love all those things about yourself. But it's very hard to look at yourself in the mirror and probably see an aspect of yourself that you do not like and say that I still love myself. And I think one of the most important things that can really help us learn the best way to love ourselves is to be so self-aware and to be so open with ourselves and be so transparent with ourselves, especially about our weaknesses, and say, I love Sharon despite the fact that she has smelly feet. For example, I'm not saying I have smelly feet, I don't know, but I'm just giving an example. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but you can get to a point and say that I love myself in as much as I have these other things about me that are not perfect, that are not good, that are not great about myself. I am still willing to say that I love myself. And isn't that like a big task? It's such a big task. And last year, I started doing something to help myself get to a point where I learned to love myself and learn to love on myself. And imwaka nimelegea. I have not done it this year, but it really helped me, like especially last year, because I got to a point and I realized that I love myself by the standard by which other people have set of how they love me. For example, the way I loved myself was dependent on how much I felt loved by my parents, I felt loved by my siblings, I felt loved by my partner, I felt loved by my friends. So let's say a time came and probably I wasn't in good terms with either of those, either my parents, my siblings, my partner, or my friends. I used to feel as though because I do not feel loved by them in that time or in that season at the time, then I do not love myself. Then there's something about me that should be so wrong that they're struggling to probably show love to me at that season, and I struggle to show myself love at that season. Meaning, my love for myself was dependent on how much love I felt from other people. But I realized that is such a fleeting way to like look at life and loving yourself, because not every time you'll feel loved by people around you. Sometimes things happen and you're not always in good terms with people, and you won't always feel that kind of love that you so desire. But does that mean you're unlovable? No, because to me, not feeling loved by others equated to me not being lovable. And I would be like, oh yeah, they have every right to not love me. Why should I even love myself? I'm not lovable. I mean, I'm a difficult person to love and all of those things. But once I started doing this exercise, which I think I should get back to, it was so nice. And I want to share it with you guys. So I think we are familiar with the 5 love languages, right? That is words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, physical touch, and gifts. Yes, and gifts. I think when we talk about those, it's easier. We usually think of it from a point of, how do I show love to others? Or how do I love to receive love? Or how do I love to be loved? So it's either that those who feel loved through receiving gifts, others is through quality time, physical touch, words of affirmation, or acts of service, either of those. And for a long time, I always used to be the one trying to figure out, how can I love others? How can I love you better? You know, what is your love language? I'm going to love on you like that. You want some physical touch? Here. You want some gifts? There you go. You want some quality time? Shika. You want some words of affirmation? Shika. And I rarely felt or expressed love to myself. And I gave myself a challenge that year. Every single month, I was going to express love to myself with one of those 5 love languages. That is, there was a month where the love language that I was working towards expressing to myself is words of affirmation. So that whole month, I was just affirming myself, positive self-talk and all of that. Then another month, it's receiving gifts. Another month, it's acts of service. So yeah, that's the exercise that I did for the whole year. And it was so fun. And I can actually say without a doubt, shadow of doubt, that was the year that I feel like I loved myself the most. And I want us to share and see how we can do that. I'm gonna give some tips on what you can do for each and every love language and how you can express it to yourself. Because it's easy for us to learn how to express it to others, but we probably are not very aware how we can do it for ourselves. Let's start with quality time. So, quality time, take yourself on those solo dates and also spend time by yourself. Spend time with yourself. Spend time doing things that you love to do. Spend time in silence with just yourself. Take the time to learn more about yourself. I know one of the things that I usually enjoy doing, even up till date, is when you go on Google, you can always Google questions. You can always Google something like questions to ask to get to know someone better, or questions to get deeper with someone. And they are usually really deep questions and really good questions. And these are questions that you can ask other people. But what I've been doing is that I've been asking myself those questions. So for example, it will ask, so what are your hobbies? I ask myself, so what are my hobbies? And let me tell you, it's such a beautiful, wholesome experience because you get to learn so much about yourself. And one thing I've come to realize is that you change over the seasons. Because whatever I would answer last year, for some of those questions, they're not the same answers this year. And it's so beautiful to see how I'm growing and I'm changing. And it's a very beautiful experience. So number 1 is quality time. Number 2 is acts of service. Now, I think for those of you who are very used to serving others and helping others, especially for those of us, like probably our firstborns, firstborn daughters and all of that, it's easy for you to take care of others. It's easy for you to set aside your needs so that you can be able to take care of others. You'll be quick to notice when something is not okay with someone else. You'll be very quick to notice when something needs to be done for others, but rarely do you take the time to ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need in this season? So in acts of service, you see the same way you're very quick to notice, probably my younger siblings need to eat, probably my friend needs this, probably my partner needs this. How about you, for a moment, just ask yourself, what do I need? And let me serve myself first. Let me take care of my needs as well. In as much as I'm trying to take care of other people's needs, let me take the time to take care of my needs as well. Number 3 is receiving gifts. And I think that one is something that a lot of us don't struggle with, unless you're the kind of person who probably struggles with, feeling like if you're buying things for yourself, you're doing too much. But a lot of us like to pamper ourselves, right? We like to buy ourselves gifts, especially this madam. I don't know. Nikitembea tu hapo koja, I just see a nice dress, I just want to buy. I know I'm broke, but I still want to buy it, And I think it's a beautiful thing to see that it is okay to spend on yourself. It's okay to take the time, not unhealthy spending. Don't get me wrong, please. Don't get me wrong. But it's okay to take the time to spend some cash to buy yourself some very nice things, or take the time to get yourself a ticket to something that you like, to a concert that you like, whatever it is. Like, take the time to gift yourself, to reward yourself. Like, when you make good progress, please reward yourself. Why should it be easy for you to buy someone perfume worth 20,000, but you cannot buy yourself that very same perfume? Yeah, just gift yourself, love on yourself. The other one is words of affirmation. And I think this is also something that is words of affirmation. I think it's something that we practice also a lot, especially in our generation. And that is affirming yourself, saying beautiful affirming words to yourself, talking good about yourself, positive self-talk, all those I am statements. statements. I am beautiful, I am strong, I am confident, I am wealthy, I am a money magnet, I am. All those beautiful things, I think they really help you to also speak life to yourself and to speak life in your own situations, even those that seem a bit difficult. The I am statements, I think they really help us to restructure our mind and our thought patterns about ourselves. And the last one is physical touch. And I remember when I was sharing this with some people last year, they were asking like, so how do you express like physical touch to yourself? Well, I think this is more of putting in the effort to make sure that you feel good as far as your physique is concerned. For example, if it's going out on spa dates, when do kando kidogo, just feel good. If it means exercising, working on your body, getting to that ideal body goals that you so desire. If it means dressing up well, if it means putting on some nice perfume, whatever it is, anything that makes you feel confident as far as your physique is concerned, please go ahead and do it. As long as it's something that, is sane, because at this point, I don't know, we're getting to very weird points as a generation. The line between what is normal and what is abnormal is getting very blurry. It's getting very blurry. Yeah, as long as you're doing something that I think is humanly possible and is considered humanly normal, I think it's okay. Yeah, so that is all about self-love. It's something that I really love also to talk about and practice. And I hope that even after this video, you'll learn how to love yourself in a whole sense, like not just about what you can do for your physical self, but you also take the time, like we started by saying, is understanding yourself, being self-aware and loving yourself despite your flaws, despite your negative ways. And please don't get me wrong, even as you're loving your flaws, loving yourself despite your flaws, that does not mean you should be comfortable being flawed, or you should be comfortable with your weaknesses. You should work towards being better. You should work towards being a better human being. You should work towards making those weaknesses your strengths as well. Yeah, so the introspect question for the day, it's actually not going to be a question. Today is going to be an activity. Yeah, so out of all those 5 languages, write one thing that you are going to do for yourself as far as those love languages are concerned. Like if it's physical touch, write what you're gonna do. If it's gifts, write what you're gonna do. And yeah, for the next few weeks, try and express that to yourself and for yourself. Yeah, so that is it for today's video. I'm glad that you stuck through it. I hope you've learned something, and I hope you start your journey of self-love, and I wish you all the best. Yeah, so that is all for today. Please, if you've not subscribed, please subscribe. Please. Please subscribe, and you can also follow us on our Instagram. That is introspect_KE. You can also follow me on my personal Instagram platform, that is mwangi.sharon, and also on TikTok, mwangi.sharon as well. Yeah, that is all. Bye.